Hi guys, welcome to this Money Control live stream. I'm Nandita Khemka coming to you live from the Mumbai Money Control studios. You're watching Opening Bell, of course. Before I move any further, I want to wish our viewers a very happy Diwali. It's been a very kind and a superb Samvat, so to say. The Samvat 2080, yielded returns of somewhere around 28 to 30% on an index level. Although we are stepping into Samvat 2081 with a somber or cautious note, but let's hope and pray that things pick up and all the risks on the horizons kind of subside, and we could see some great returns in Samvat 2081 as well. So from the entire team of Money Control to you and your families, a very, very happy Diwali and a very prosperous and profitable year ahead. On that note, let's kickstart the show then. Of course, yesterday we saw some bit of profit-taking kick in after a rally that came in day before yesterday. The Nifty, of course, managing to shut shop above that 24,300 level, but we did, end the day off lows. But today or not, whether or not the bulls managed to shine on the last day of Samvat 2080 is something that, of course, will be watched out for. Some result reactions will also be watched out for today. And, aside of that, all your stock-related queries, keep them coming in on our live feed. We'll try and take them up and address them as well. But before we move any further, let's quickly take a look at the top stories at this hour. Stocks end lower on Wall Street. Third quarter GDP growth in the US comes in at 2.8% on an annualized basis, vis-a-vis estimates of 3.1% growth. Meta and Microsoft correct in after-hours trade as earnings disappoint. Asian markets trade largely lower ahead of the Bank of Japan's policy decision. The GIFT Nifty is also suggesting a lower start for the Indian market. Crude prices rise with the Brent trading around that $72 a barrel mark as inventories in the United States slip. Reports also suggest that OPEC may delay production cuts, and gold, meanwhile, on the other hand, has hit a record high on sustained safe haven buying. And an important results reaction, L&T will be in focus. The conglomerate's margins remains muted in a good quarter. The company also retains its guidance across parameters, and brokerages welcome positive surprise across order inflows, execution and working capital on a lofty base. All right, then, let's quickly take a look at the cues for trade. When I'm looking at the pre-open on the screens, it is hinting at, some semblance of green. But whether or not we open in the green and whether or not we manage to sustain those opening gains is something that, we'll all be watching out for, of course. So just about 6 odd minutes to go for the markets to open. But let's quickly take a look at what happened yesterday. Markets closed in the red with financials being the, top laggards yesterday. Although the market breadth was in favor of advances, mid-caps were outperforming, and even the small-cap index was up over 1% or thereabouts. FMCG and autos, these were the two pockets that did well, tracking festive demand. Adani Enterprises was the top Nifty gainer after Q2 earnings were above estimates. Even Adani Ports saw a good traction. Bharat Electronic continued to see buying following healthy second quarter earnings and positive outlook from management. But Cipla was the top loser, given the fact that, commentary on future outlook kind of disappointed street. But today, of course, there is good news and there's positive news. The fact that US FDA has classified Cipla's Goa unit as voluntary action indicated. That means it could get approvals for some of the key, drugs that are manufactured there. So yes, that's a positive. Let's see whether or not the stock reacts in a positive way or not to it. But that was all in all about the market and stock action. In terms of F&O, Qs, the Nifty put call ratio dropped to 0.9 from 1.02. And if you look at the stocks in F&O band, there's been no new addition. But there have been a couple of counters that have exited the F&O band list. Those are the likes of L&T Finance and Manappuram Finance. Still in F&O band will be the likes of IDFC First, India Mart, RBL Bank and Punjab National Bank. FIIs remain net sellers. We've seen FIIs being net sellers consistently in the month of October. Yesterday as well, they have pulled out 4,600 crore rupees worth of stocks from the cash markets. DIIs, although, continue to give buying support to the market. 4,500 crore rupee worth of stock or shares bought in the cash market. But on that note, let me quickly bring on board our guest for today. Joining me is Chandan Taparia of Motilal Oswal. Chandan, always a pleasure chatting with you. Let me first take this opportunity to wish you a very happy Diwali and a prosperous and profitable year ahead.
Thank you, Nandita. Very happy Diwali and New Year to you, entire team at Money Control, and to all the viewers. May this year and the festive vibes brings more prosperity, and may the index hit to the new high, and this buying opportunity turn into the next milestone for the market. So, best wishes to each and everyone.
That's true, Chandan. But that festive vibe is really missing from the Lal Street, right? Day before yesterday, we thought that we could see more upside, and we were hoping that the index ends above that 24,500 mark. But that hasn't happened. Although we've managed to defend that 24,300 mark. But today, what's the sense? Do you think Sambat 2080, the last day of Sambat 2080, will end with the bulls taking a back seat, or do you see some bit of buying emerge at these levels?
So as of now, the bulls are not on back. Bulls are just taking two step back to head towards the 10 step up. So I believe that some consolidative move could be there. However, we need to keep in mind that today is the monthly expiry, and month-on-month basis or expiry on expiry basis, Nifty is down by around 7%, and it's trading 500 points lower than the volume weighted average, and because of that, the bets are not allowing bulls to hold at higher levels. So some roller coaster ride could be there, but the way 24,000 put writing is happening, somehow market will form the higher base at 24,000. So it would be tough to comment whether bulls will be parting today or they will be in consolidative move or will be focused more on the firecracker than the looking at the market sentiment. But yes, let the market move about 24, 5 and then the next leg of rally. So as of now, I'll play the range between 24, 150 to 24, 500 and looking for some buy on decline stance in the market as of now.
All right, buy on declines, that's the strategy and we stick to that. But what about the Nifty Bank Index? It has been rather gaining good traction, although yesterday it was under a fair bit of selling pressure. What is the level that you'll be watching out for here on the upside today? 52,000. We had given up that level, right? Do you think there could be a reclaim of that? And yesterday was just a bout of profit taking?
So we have seen a massive run up on Tuesday when Bank Nifty rallied by more than 1,000 points. But on last trading session, it formed an inside bar and momentum is getting kept. So again, we believe some consolidative move could be there. Multiple supports are visible at 51, 250. And at the same time, hurdles is now being placed at 52,000 to 52, 250. So we have to play the broader range. Again, here also, we need to focus on buy on decline stance. So both the indices, Nifty and Bank Nifty, are giving the clue for buy on decline stance. However, upside seems to be kept, but a small follow-up could lead to the next leg of rally in these indices.
All right, that's about the Nifty Bank Index. But before the market open, I want to quickly touch upon L&T. Numbers came out better than expectations, although margins were muted and missed expectations, but profit and revenue managed to beat expectations, right? If you look at the net profit, that grew 5.4% on a YOY basis. Revenue was up in excess of 20%. EBITDA, was up 13% or so. Margins came in at 10.3% vis-a-vis expectations of 10.6% or so, vis-a-vis 11% on a year-on-year basis. Core margins were muted, but the company has confirmed that it's among the top bidders in the NTPC plant bid. It has also retained its guidance across all parameters. The consolidated order inflow stood at 80,000 crore rupees, down 10% on a YY basis. Order book, the entire order book stood at 5.1 lakh crore rupees, which was up 13% on a YY basis. Order inflows, seen at growing at 10%. Top line guidance has been maintained at 15%, but core margin guidance, something that could have come as a disappointment because that's seen at 8.25%. The targets for FY26 stand at order inflows, which are seen at 3.4 lakh crore rupees. Revenue target for FY26 is at 2.2 lakh crore rupees with an ROE or return on equity of 18%. I want to come to brokerages and what they are saying about L&T in just a bit, but let's quickly take a look at how the markets have opened up. First ticks coming in 24,300. That level is being maintained, but as I said, festive cheer missing from the Lal Street because no fireworks really. We've opened flat with a negative bias, so there is red across the screen today as well. With the mid-cap index also trading in the red, 0.4% kind of downtick coming in on the mid-cap index. The Bank Nifty is also extending its losses. It's 100 odd point kind of cut on the Nifty Bank Index, 0.2% lower at the current juncture. Let's take a look at what the other sectors are really doing at the current juncture. Yesterday, remember, We saw good traction in FMCG, and autos also saw some bit of traction thanks to festive demand and trends emerging from there. But today, aside of pharma and realty, most of the sectors are trading in the red. Look at the FMCG pack, that's down 0.5% or so. IT is a big laggard, it's down 1%, and even metals are down 0.5%. One would think that metals could have seen some bit of uptick given the fact that we had positive data coming out of China. Their factory output has expanded for the first time since April. So on the back of that, we were expecting some bit of a boost for metal stocks, but that hasn't really happened. The metal pack is down 0.5% or thereabouts, but it's the IT pack that's the top laggard. Infrastructure index doing well. Pharma pack up 1%, and realty pack is also up 0.5% or thereabouts. Let's take a look at the individual movers then. Cipla, 8% uptick. Of course, as I was mentioning, US FDA reprieve has come in when it comes to its crucial Goa unit. It could be looking at approvals for some of its unique drugs, and because of that the stock is higher by 8%. Remember, the stock has been under intense selling pressure ever since it reported earnings. It had shaved off 8% or so in the last two sessions, but today it has made up for it, and a big boost coming in for Cipla in terms of regulatory reprieve. Aside of that, L&T is the other top gainer, 5% up. It has impressed street, although margins continue to disappoint. But on all the other parameters, it has managed to beat expectations. Dr. Reddy's is the other one that's doing well. Hero Moto, Sun Pharma, Bajaj Auto. So once again, you can see some traction in auto pack, and pharma, of course, as I mentioned, is doing well. ICICI Bank from the banking pack is also holding out. Bank Nifty, by the way, has edged back into the green. Looking at the top losers, then 3 out of 5 top Nifty losers are from the IT pack, led by Tech Mahindra, Infosys, as well as TCS. You have a Titan that's under pressure, and Bharat Electronics also under some bit of pressure. Maruti is back in the red, and so is Shriram Finance. Looking at the market open, Chandan, your thoughts on what stocks one should pick in today's session?
Yeah, so index is slightly negative, but I believe some support-based buying could be there. If you look at the stock specific, we need to look at the selective theme, even positively on the selective capital market related companies. BSE could be on radar. The stock has been holding the gains, making higher top, higher bottom. So with support of 4,300, one can look for an upside target towards 4,600 in BSE. Apart from BSE, we need to focus on selective pharma name where some sort of buying interest could emerge. So if you look at the pharma, I'll focus on the DV slip. Major trend is positive, and supports are gradually shifting higher. On dip near 58.50, one can buy with support of 57.50 for an upside target. So BSC and DV slip would be two names which may see some focus during the day. Apart from that, one need to focus on the Balrampur Chini, one of the strongest name from last 3-4 days, recently taken support at 50 DEMA. So with support of 650, one can see an upside move towards 685. So these are the 3-4 names we can focus for the day, and also to add some positive thematic sector during the day.
All right, those were the stocks to keep on your radar in today's session. But since you were talking about the pharma pack, I also want to get in your thoughts on a Cipla. A big reprieve coming in, given the fact that the US FDA has classified its Goa manufacturing unit as voluntary action indicated. Now, of course, the US FDA had conducted the good manufacturing practices inspection at the Goa unit back in June. And this has come as a major relief for Cipla, right, which was grappling with regulatory concerns when it comes to its Goa unit. Citi has come out with a report post this reprieve. It has a buy call, target price at 1830 rupees. And, Citi has noted that this paves way for generic Abraxane approval. And this product is a key product to watch out for from the Goa facility. And the development once again improves the pipeline visibility for Cipla. That's what Citi has said on this particular company. But given the fact that the stock was in the throes of intense sell-off in the last 2 sessions, and we've seen almost all of those losses being recouped in today's session itself. What is the kind of chart structure now for Cipla? Do you think the stock had entered into any kind of oversold zone? Do you think there's been a reversal after today's up move? How would you approach this stock?
So looking at Cipla, the stock has seen a selling pressure till 1400 zone on the last trading session, but today open gap up and witnessed a decent recovery. So the good part is on weekly scale, it has been forming a bullish candle with long lower shadow, which indicates the declines are being bought. So I believe one need to follow the support near 1495 for an upside target was 1580 marks.
Okay, that's the view. 1580, that's a crucial level on the upside to watch out for in Cipla. But Biocon, that's another stock that's in focus from the pharma pack. The numbers weren't all that enthusing. In fact, on all parameters, the numbers were below estimates, and the stock is also reacting, in trade. Although the pharma pack is 1%, this particular stock is down 2% or so. And I can see a query also coming in on this particular stock from Srivardhan Gupta. He wants your thoughts, and he has positions at the rate of 360 rupees on a Biocon. The stock is now at 314 almost. So he's making a loss here. What are your thoughts on how should one approach Biocon? Should one average or should one just sit tight right now?
I don't suggest to average as of now because the structure is weak. Stock has been making lower top, lower bottom on the weekly scale. Multiple supports are visible at 300, so you can follow the support of 300 for a bounce towards 330.
Okay, that's about Biocon. But let's talk about Tata Power as well. Numbers came out, mixed quarter so to say. Profits were up almost 6%. Revenue, although was flat on a YY basis. Margins saw a good uptick at 23.9% vis-a-vis 19.6% in the last quarter, same year last quarter. If you look at the solar EPC order book, that's coming at almost 16,000 crore rupees. Its installed generation capacity has surpassed 15 gigawatts. Clean energy portfolio now exceeds 12.9 gigawatts, and rooftop solar segment saw very strong demand. Just want to see what the stock is really doing in trade today. The stock is trading flat actually. It has given up some of its opening gains, now around that 428 mark. Looking at the levels, 494 is a 52-week high. Do you expect the stock to make a dash at that? Because the stock hasn't doing well. In the last 1 month, we've seen 12% shaved off, and in the last 5 days, it has been pretty sideways.
Yes, so looking at the Tata Power, the stock has been making a lower top, lower bottom from last 5-6 weeks, corrected from 495 to 415. But multiple supports are visible near 405 to 410 zone. Because in last almost 14 to 20 weeks, multiple time it has taken support near those zones. So one can keep the support near 410 to place some recovery towards 444, 460.
Okay, that's the view on Tata Power. The next one, that I want to address is automotive Axle. Now, this stock is down 4%. Numbers came down and hasn't been all that great. Profit was down 20%. Revenue also saw 15% drop. In terms of margins, even they contracted 10.3% vis-a-vis 11.3% in the same quarter last year. What would you do with this particular stock now? 1775 is where it's at, just coming off its 52-week lows, right? And chart structure is also pretty weak if you look at the 1 month and 6 month charts. Do you expect it to fall below that crucial 1742 level?
So structure is weak. The stock is trading at multiple weeks, multiple months low. Major support is broken. The previous support was 1742 and today it made low near the same. So I believe fall below 1750 opens the downside to 1700 to 1650. So weakness could be there. Can avoid or let the stock decline further to find some stability.
Okay, that's the view. I mean, you can avoid the stock, that's the call. IRB Infra is the next stock that reported earnings post market hours yesterday. Numbers were, not all that great. Profit has risen 4%. Revenues, although, were down almost 10%. And margin wise, it has done pretty okay, 48.3% vis-a-vis 45.6% last year. But, toll collections were also hit on the back of heavy rains across the country, right? Today the stock is down, 2.5% or so. Just want to see what it has done over the last month. 14% shaved off in the last 1 month itself. Within the infrastructure pack, how is our IRB Infra poised right now? It has been weak, but would you suggest getting in at these levels?
No, IRB is making lower top, lower bottom. Just 4 or 5 weeks back, it was quoting at 78, corrected to 50 marks. Given a breakdown, it can drip down to 42 to 40 zone. So let it correct further, and then only we can think about stability in the count.
Okay, that's the view on IRB Infra. But let's take up some viewer queries that are trickling in then. The first one's coming in from Naveen, and he wants to know your thoughts on NCC. Now, this stock, is trading with the marginal gains today, but it has seen good traction over the last 5 sessions. Uh, would you say that it's just about picking up traction now? Because last 1 month it has given negative returns. Now it's at 295 or 294 at the current juncture. Would you expect 300 levels to be cleared within the next few trading sessions?
So talking about NCC, we have seen buying interest in selective name from the lower levels. The stock has made bottom near 270. So I believe with support of 292, we can look for an upside. Target was 310, 312 in NCC.
Okay, those are the levels to watch out for in terms of target. Hope you've taken note of that. But the next query is coming in on an IOC. This one's coming in from Parth Chaudhary. He wants to know whether he should hold, sell, or add more. He hasn't mentioned how many quantity or how much he holds at and at what rate. But OMCs have taken a sharp knock, in the last 1 month or so. In the last 5 days itself, IOC has shed somewhere around 6% or so. Your thoughts? How are you really approaching these OMC stocks right now?
So ONC, oil marketing companies are weak, and IOC is one of the weakest name in three, including HP, BP, and IOC. I believe weak structure could continue. Stock can drip down towards 300 of 135.
Okay, that's the level to watch out for, 135. I hope this helps you. The next query is coming in from Reena Kumar, and she has a query on Bharat Dynamics. Holds shares at 1450 rupees, which were bought in June. Is it the right time to average at the current levels? Would you advise? Because defense stocks, saw some traction, some of them over the last 5 sessions. Is it a case, or is there a case to look at buying at the current juncture, averaging?
So I won't suggest for averaging as of now. Stock has corrected sharply in last almost 2-3 months, making lower top, lower bottom. Recently corrected from 1800 to 1000 marks. So 1000 may provide as a major support, but conviction is missing. Let it find some more stability in the base formation for an upside target was 1150 to 1200.
Okay, that's the view. Hope you've taken note of Chandan's advice. Let's take up the next query that's coming in on one of the stocks from the railway sector. Nana Prakasam has written in, wants to know your thoughts on IRFC for the short term. Yesterday we saw some bit of activity in railway stocks, right? Last 5 sessions, if you see cumulatively, IRFC has gained somewhere around 11% or so. We all know that railway stocks have been witnessing profit booking. But on the charts, whenever you look at some of these stocks, seeing a pop, do you expect this to sustain, or would you say these are just, out of the way kind of up move that keeps coming in?
I believe some recovery could be there because stock is turning from deep oversold territory. Earlier it has corrected from 230 to 130, and now the way it has been making high top, side bottom, some more recovery could be there. So one can keep the support at 153 for target to 165, 170.
Okay, that's the view on IRFC. But let's take up a query from Satya CK, who has a query. He's saying that he wants to know what is the best chart till next Diwali in the fashion companies. Which are the fashion companies that you like from a 1 year perspective, and he wants possible targets on them as well.
So if he's looking for fashion, then I need to focus on very selective name. I can either look at the Nika or can focus on the Trent. Trent is one of the strongest name. However, witnessed some profit booking in last 13-14 days. So near 6800 to 7,000, one can accumulate trend for an upside target towards 8,500 levels. Looking at the Nika stock has been making lower top, lower bottom. So I believe support will be placed at 165. So on further decline, one can buy for an upside target towards 220. So these are the couple of names one need to keep in mind to play this thing.
All right, those are some of the stocks from the fashion industry. Hope that helps you, Satya. The next query is coming in from Puneet Rajiv. I want to take up this query on DMart. He's holding shares at 3,962 and he wants to know whether he should buy more or switch to Aditya Vision. The stock is trading at 3,900 at the current juncture. It has been under pressure. Last 1 month it has given up 23% or so. Look at the long-term charts. Even on a YTD basis, the stock hasn't been able to fire up so much. It has, in fact, given negative returns of 4% or so. Would you advise a switch, or would you say, hold on to it?
So stock is corrected by around 23% even in this month. Negated is measure higher tops, higher bottom. So some profit booking could be there. I believe 3750 to 3800 could be the major support for the discount.
All right, that's the view on Avenue Supermarts. But let's take up some other queries then. Rizul Agarwal wants to know your long-term view on Sumitomo Chemicals. Any thoughts on how the chemical stocks are poised right now, and within that basket, how is Sumitomo looking?
Yeah, so looking at the Sumitomo Chemical and Mastek. So first I look at the Sumitomo. So major trend is positive to range bound. Declines are being bought with support of 560. One can look for an upside target towards 600. And looking at the Mastek, I think some recovery could be there with support of 2780. One can see an upside target towards 3000.
Okay, that's the view then on Sumitomo. I hope that answers your query. The next query is coming in from Som Mendegar and he wants your thoughts on GSFC, Gujarat State Fertilizers and Chemicals. What would you do here? The stock has seen it has in fact tried to pick up some traction in the last 5 sessions. Do you think this up move that it has seen is going to pick up pace? Because today the stock is not doing well. It's down 0.7%.
Yeah, so medium term trend is negative. Stock has been making lower top, lower bottom on the weekly chart, but in last 3 days we have seen some recovery. I believe one can keep the trailing of 202 for target of 218 to 220.
Okay, that's the view on GSFC then. But going forward, Chandan, would like to know what exactly are you looking at in terms of Mahurat trading? What would your top picks be? I know you shared your picks for today, but particularly for the Mahurat trading session, I know you are celebrating Diwali in your hometown. What are the kind of stocks that will be on your radar tomorrow when you log in for your Mahurat trading session?
Yeah, so hometown is my favorite, but yes, need to focus on stocks. I'll look at BSC, Bombay Stock Exchange. Here we are expecting a next leg of rally. In fact, most of the capital market related sectors are likely to do well. So positionally, we are looking for 5,000 plus kind of zone in BSC. However, we'll separately share more trading picks as well next day. CDSL can be the other name with support of 1380. We can target towards 1700 zone. So one stock one can take from capital market related, whether we talk about depository or exchange. Second idea can be from banking, and that is heavyweights ICICI Bank. The stock is bottomed out at 1215, 1220 zone, and the way supports are gradually shifting higher. Positionally, it can head towards 1400 kind of level. So capital markets, selective banking could be on radar on this market setup. And one can also focus on one PSU name, and I think SBI is better. But buy on decline, buy near support 800 to 805 for target of 850.
All right, those were the top Mahurat picks from Chandan. But Chandan, I believe we haven't really spoken about L&T. It has managed to beat expectations on all parameters barring margins. In terms of order inflows, it has beaten expectations, in terms of revenue, profitability as well, and even in terms of guidance, it has maintained its guidance across. But looking at what brokerages are really saying about this company, Bernstein has an outperform call. Target price is at 3,891 or so, and they've noted that this is another quarter of strong execution and stellar working capital position. Order inflow declined, but that's because of high base last year. And the execution and working capital beat are enough to make up for margin and order inflow miss, according to Bernstein. Nomura, on the other hand, once again has a buy call, but target price is in excess of 4,000 rupees. Nomura has taken note that consensus has it's actually beaten consensus, and the stock actually offers favorable risk reward at the current juncture. And FY25 order inflow guidance, something that looks achievable. Order inflow, according to Nomura, beat estimates by over 40%, and core margin stood at 7.6% in first half of FY25, up 20 basis points on a YOY basis. Core EBITDA margin guidance has been retained, although the brokerage has noted that the margin guidance is fairly conservative. Looking at L&T, top gainer on the Nifty, 5% up here on. From a risk reward standpoint, does it look attractive to you now?
Yeah, so the counter has seen a decent recovery in the entire last 4 days. Made the bottom near 3262 and now quoting near 3600 zone. On weekly scale, it managed to recover the decline of the last week and now back to 3600 zone. So I believe good set of recovery clearly indicates some upswing in the counter. So with support of 3500, use any small decline to buy for an upside target was 3750.
Okay, by the way, the Nifty has slumped by another 100 points. So 24,250, we've even fallen below that level. Once again, I would like to ask you, in terms of support for today in particular, how much of a fall can we expect? Do you think 24,200 is at risk? All right, I think we've lost the connection with Chandan. We'll just get it back. Just want to point out, we've kind of exacerbated the kind of fall that we saw at the start of the session. So Chandan, I was asking you, we've taken out 24,250, and it's another triple-digit loss on the Nifty coming up at the current juncture. But do you think 24,200 can be, at risk of being broken today?
Yeah, Nandita, I think there is a risk of breaking these levels. So as of now, just wait and watch. Till now, Nifty doesn't hold beyond 24,350. Don't be aggressive. 24,200, if not respected, then index can dip down towards 24,000 marks.
Okay, that's an important point he made. 24,000. Now we are actually watching out for that level as well. Because barring a few sessions, we have seen the Nifty trending downwards, and today as well, this morning, last day of summer 2080, it's another 100-point cut coming in as of now. The broader end of the market is also under pressure. You've seen the Nifty mid cap index down by 0.5%, although the breadth is in favor of gainers at the current juncture. Let's see how really that pans out. Chandan, last question really, what are you doing with technology stocks? Today they seem to be among the top laggards. The likes of TCS, Infosys, Tech Mahindra, they are among the top laggards. Chart patterns, anything has changed, or is it just about of profit taking?
So I think the structure has gone weak after the recovery of last 3-4 days. So we need to.
All right, I think there seems to be some connection issue with Chandan. Of course, it's not a pretty picture as of current juncture. We are down by almost 100 points and no reprieve when it comes to the broader end of the markets as well. The Nifty Bank Index also just about holding on to that 51,700 mark. All the other sectors are under pressure, barring the pharma pack, which of course is being supported by Cipla. That's the top Nifty gainer. 8.5% kind of gains on a day when the markets are weak. L&T also holding out 5.5% on the back of surprise, positive surprise in terms of revenue, profit, order inflow guidance, etc. Aside of that, Sun Pharma, Hero Moto, Dr. Reddy's, Kotak Mahindra, these are some of the stocks that are seeing some bit of traction today. Some FMCG names also like HUL and Nestle are doing well, and beaten down names like IndusInd Bank, which made a recovery yesterday, are building on that recovery as well. But I think with that, we are pretty much done on this edition of Opening Bell. Not a pretty picture right now, but let's see how the day really progresses. Looks like, fireworks will be missing on this last day of Samvat 2080 as well. On that note, it's time to say goodbye. Of course, stay with Money Control for a lot more action and a lot more voices on, market voices rather, on how the next Samvat is expected to pan out after stellar Samvat 2080, where we saw the Nifty gaining somewhere around 25 to 26%. So thanks a lot for tuning in. Have a great Diwali. Have a profitable and prosperous year ahead from me and the entire team. And of course, stay with Money Control. Come back and join us at 3:30 once again on Closing Bell. But for now, goodbye. Have a good day.